But first, let's talk about what happened in Iowa. Bernie Sanders won. Do these margins need to get bigger? Absolutely. No doubt. And I think Bernie is going to need to make some adjustments. There's going to need to be more surrogates that speak to rural and older voters and a broader set of the population. We're going to need to be talking with people who might be military vets, who might be small business owners. There's no contradiction between a radical, humane, and universal program and queuing into people's sense of Americanness. That's why he's going to need to retrieve some of the good Harvey J.K. stuff. We're going to need to be hearing about Roosevelt, Ro Khanna talking about completing the New Deal. This is going to help him run up the margins with older voters, which is going to be incredibly important. And at the same time, he's going to continue to win. And the press is going to freak out, and the war against him from the political establishment and the oligarchy will go in full blast. We need to be ready for this. We need to be ready for this in a multitude of ways. We have momentum, and that is despite all of the work against us in the Sanders campaign. These people in the elite punditocracy are wrong for a living. They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Wall Street. They were wrong about Hillary Clinton. And they were wrong about Biden. They will be wrong about Pete. And we will make them wrong about Mike Bloomberg. We can't look to corporate media for support. Look at how even supposedly unbiased outlets like Reuters reported on Bernie's victory last night. This is Reuters. This is the headline of the evening. Pete Buttigieg finishes second in New Hampshire, Amy Klobuchar third. Now, why, of course, would you mention the much more shabby first place finish of Bernie Sanders, who, of course, received the most votes and won New Hampshire? Our supposed friend and ally, Elizabeth Warren, used her humiliating defeat in New Hampshire to take cheap shots at the Sanders coalition.
But the fight between factions in our party has taken a sharp turn in recent weeks, with ads mocking other candidates and with supporters of some candidates shouting curses at other Democratic candidates. These harsh tactics might work if you are willing to burn down the rest of the party in order to be the last man standing. They might work if you don't worry about leaving our party and our politics worse off than how you found it. And they might work if you think only you have all the answers and only you are the solution to all our problems.
This is a narcissistic message for people in the managerial class more concerned about their own feelings on Twitter than about the urgent crisis that hits so many people today. This is what Bernie Sanders is talking to. He's talking to people who could die without medical care. He's talking about poverty. He's talking about the real and persistent crises that define this country. Now, there's no doubt that there is a broader cultural problem that has some truth to it. Shouldn't just be the province of the scolds and the civility addicts. Of course, people need to figure out how to be humane on social media. Of course, there is going to need to be an effort to reach out with respect and to dignity to those who are earnest in their politics and can be persuaded. But for those who would throw away the fight for single-payer health care because of a meme they didn't like, nothing could be a fuller expression of vanity, narcissism, delusion, and comfort. And we cannot indulge that. We also need to recognize that the disingenuity of unity rhetoric was always used as a cudgel to hold the Sanders campaign and movement to a double standard. The reality is, if you want unity and you want positivity, then the Warren campaign is not putting out MSNBC's talking points to devalue the working class Sanders coalition. And if you want unity and beating Trump is the only thing that matters, then Bernie Sanders will be spoken about positively on television along with Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, and Elizabeth Warren. But clearly it's not. It's a double standard. And it's a double standard that we're not going to abide by, because this race is about the existential fate of our democracy and the basic capacity to deliver basic human decency and delivery in the 21st century. The stakes are really high, and they're not about what particular form of humor you appreciate or not. The fighting against the Democratic establishment is nothing compared to the fight we will face against the Republican Party. They fought tooth and nail to prevent Obama's moderate agenda from falling into place, and we won't beat them with half measures. We won't beat them with a Democratic establishment more interested in destroying Bernie Sanders than in actually wielding power and defeating Donald Trump. So we shouldn't accept these attacks. We have to push back against the lies and slander of the Sanders and his movement. We're in the lead, and we cannot slow down now. You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.